We're here at the Otago Fees-free protest. They have just finished their speeches down here in Union Lawn outside the OUSA Common Building, and now they're getting ready to move on to the Octagon. The police escort's just arrived. OUSA is taking the lead. We have Labour here, Unite Group, a bunch of unions, International Socialists, and we'll be going around interviewing people, getting their thoughts on the protest, seeing what all the fuss is about. Now, this protest was organised in reaction to Finance Minister Nicola Willis's pre-budget announcement that the final year fees-free would be scrapped in the 2026 budget. This is not a phase-out. As such, if you started your degree with final year fees-free, a part of your financial plan, you will not receive it unless you graduate before December 31st, 2026. The University of Otago Students Association, Southern Young Labour, Otago Campus Greens and International Socialist Organisation Oti Poti worked together to organise this protest for Budget Day 2026. We'll hear from all these groups later in the video.
Students are under attack! Stand up, fight back!
Stand up, fight back!
We're heading down to the Octagon now. We've got probably about 150, would you say? Cameraman, 150 people here? Maybe 200? 200-ish people here? Do you want to explain us your thoughts on the protest?
When staff and students are under attack, stand up, fight back. When there were major job cuts in 2023, hundreds of students turned up to support staff. Now I think staff should be turning up to support students. And we're both under attack, but from different directions. Staff are under attack due to the cumulative underfunding of tertiary education, which has led to hundreds of academics across the Motu being laid off. Students are under attack by this government with a 12% fee rises already and probably more coming in today's budget, as well as being told that during the course of their education they can have around 12k of extra debt by the time they finish their studies. I think it's terrible, but I think we can do something about it. But what's required is a campaign of mass protest and non-violent civil disobedience. This is not the end of this campaign, it's just the beginning. And we're coming after this government, and we're going to keep coming until election day. So they better watch out.
Fees free! Now!
All right.
Fees free! Now!
They're stopping the main street of traffic to get the protesters across as well. The cars are not very happy.
Fees free! Stop the cuts! No more ifs! When's or buts?
Fees free! Stop the cuts!
No more ifs! When's or buts?
Fees free! Stop
All right.
the cuts!
No more ifs! When's or buts?
Fees free!
What do we want?
Fees free!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Fees free!
When do we want it?
Now!
I'm protesting today for my younger brother who was going to get fees free but is now not.
Hang cat!
Hang cat! Hang cat!
Hang cat! Fees free! Now! Fees free! Now! Fees free! Now!
Hi there, student media. Are you here today on behalf of Labour?
Yeah, I am indeed. I'm from Tyree Labour, but I used to be a student at the uni. Yep, and I really oppose this, yeah, which is pretty obvious. But at my time I didn't get fees free at all. But I don't want that for other people.
So, what would Labour's position be on this protest? Has Labour come out and said anything?
I'm not Sure, I don't know if I can answer
No
that
comment
one,
yet?
Gina.
Labor's policy for the election hasn't really been released this year, but we did have policy at the last election that
Yeah.
gave a year's fees free. I know I can speak for a lot of my friends who have university aged children,
Yeah.
and they're not from wealthy backgrounds at all, and this will impact them quite a lot
Yeah.
because they want the best for their kids, and we want the best for the young people in New Zealand, and taking away this is not going to give it to them. So that's why I'm here to support them today.
Thank you guys very
To
much.
think about all our professionals in the future, because we're concerned, obviously, because people are going overseas. We want more health professionals and other professionals, academics. It all matters. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the first time I've heard it, not just from an equity lens, but from a actually the country
Societal,
needs it.
yeah.
Yeah, societal.
Yeah.
Brain drain
It's a
hasn't
societal
been mentioned
thing.
yet.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much, guys.
That's all right.
But actually, in all seriousness, I thought it would be really important to give more of a direct human perspective on why fees free is so important for us all and how it can break down some of the barriers to making it into university in the first place. So, for myself as a third year, fees free was pivotal in my decision to go to university. Unbeknownst to myself at the time, when I enrolled, I have raging ADHD, autism, and like so many other mental health problems that made education impossible, essentially. I had a real bad time in high school, and I vowed to myself I would never go to university. But after a year of farting around and traveling and whatnot, I decided that I wanted to become a dock ranger. And when I researched the job, I found out I would need to get a degree to do that. So I begrudgingly signed up to go to university. And when I explained my decision to my family, I said I wouldn't be doing it without fees free, because I would have been making this huge investment and I might not even finish my degree because I have barely been able to make it through high school. And so, now today I'm standing here in front of you all, and I regret to think what my life would have been like without my experience here. The opportunities and experiences that I would not have known, the people who I would not have met, and the love I would not have received. Today, I wrote myself gifts from the people who I've met across my education journey. I've got earrings, I've got a jacket that someone knitted for me, I've got a pounamu from when I graduated high school, and even a scarf that my friend gave to me. All these things are signs of the love that I've received and the community that I've found here. Fees Free removed barriers for myself and for hundreds of thousands of students across Aotearoa like myself that allowed us to access higher education. That is our right. So if you want to fight for your right for no fees, then write to your representatives and to your MPs. Tell them how these changes will affect you. Nā reira tātou, kōrero ake, kōrero atu, kia rongoana. Speak up, make noise, and make sure our voices are heard.
When students are under attack,
Stand up, fight back.
when education is under attack,
Stand up, fight back.
when students are under attack,
Stand up, fight back.
when education is under attack.
Stand up, fight back.
Hi guys, you've got an interesting sign, student media. Would you like to speak to it for us?
The students,
Oh,
Anyone?
a question. Oh, is there a question or are we just speaking?
Oh, just explain us your sign.
Well, pretty much. Me and some of my friends at art school, we wanted to make a sign for the protest. Some of them aren't here today, but we thought we could exaggerate Luxon's big mouth because of all the empty promises he gives us. And, you know, we quoted him here because we thought it was pretty ironic. He's wealthy, he's sorted, so fuck the rest of us. So here he is cutting us up. And he's sorted over here on his pile of money. And
Thank you very much.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Ake, ake, ake! Ake, ake, ake! Fees free! Now! Fees free! Now! Fees free! Now! We'll never be divided! We'll never be divided!
Student media, would you like to tell us why you're here today?
Here to fight for our rights and earn us back ours, take away our fees free. Sorry if I put that sentence.
No problem.
Yeah, stand up for what we think is right and get rid of this wealth of spirit.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's completely hypocritical that these politicians are the ones that had their education completely paid for. Now they're taking it away from the youth. It just shows how much the government cares about the youth.
Thank you very much. Student media, have you got anything to say?
This is so stupid. They're just fucking dumb. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to say.
Thank you very much then.
Not a problem.
Oh yeah. Are you one of the union? You're one of the union organisers?
I'm a union member.
Well, no problem. Can I speak to you about this protest and the union's perspective? Thank you very much.
Sure. From a union perspective.
From your perspective, union perspective, anything.
Yeah. What time is it?
It is 11:40.
Oh yeah. What's this for?
This is citizen media. So we don't.
Citizen media.
Independent media. So we're called Prosper. We are independent, unedited. We just go around, we're interviewing, we're just going to publish this online. We've interviewed people around the protest.
I might just get a wee bit more info.
Here with Rosie, who's the spokesperson today for International Socialist Oti Dunedin. Hey Rosie, would you like to tell us about the protest?
Yeah, well, basically, we're here because we've had enough. Students have been constantly under pressure with 6% rises to fees every year for ages and ages, and then the government to do this, to cut fees free. It's a disgrace. They promised us 3 years, they cut it back to 1, and then they put it to the third final year, and now it's gone. And as you can see, students have had enough.
What's ISO hoping to achieve from this?
Well, this won't be the only time we're here. Hopefully, we'll be back. It's an election year. We want to make things known. We want to push National not to do this bullshit and Labour to do more, to go back to fund the full year's free like they promised, and to show that students, we have a voice, we matter, and that we'll fight for our rights.
Does ISO have any other targets or things they want to achieve this election in the field of education?
Well, we have several demands. No fees free for all years, universal student allowance, independent student unions, so we can, have the right to fight, to be a political force, and
anything? Well, any goals for the election more broadly, like big targets for ISO this election?
Not really. ISO probably.
No problem. Personally, then.
I just think it's a good time to have your voice heard, right? I want to see people in the streets, student power, people power, making your voice heard. Like, politicians will only give you what you force them to give you.
Thank you very much, Rosie.
Nearly 800 kilometres away, Aotearoa's future is being decided. Nearly 800 kilometres away, current and future students are being told that education is a privilege, not a right. Nearly 800 kilometres away, decisions are being made that will bury students under thousands of dollars of debt. Nearly 800 kilometres away, the government is about to deliver a budget and is being met with waves of anger from students all across Aotearoa. Today here in Oti, we are sending a message back. What we are doing today is not just a protest, it is a warning, it is a declaration. It is a signal to the government that students will not be pushed aside. They will not be standing by for $2.9 billion worth of tax cuts for landlords. I am proud to stand along beside you today on behalf of Southern Young Labour. This fight is more than just one policy. It is about opportunity in Aotearoa. Fees free was never just about money, it was about opening doors. It was about telling young people, you matter. It was about telling you it doesn't matter what your parents' income is. You deserve access to education. And surprise, surprise, this government's taking it away. They want us to tighten our belts while rents rise, groceries rise, transport rises. Students are already working late nights, skipping meals, struggling to pay rent, and yet they simply expect us just to stand aside. Well, I say enough. Do you think this is enough? Enough of being treated like the books are being balanced on the backs of young people. Enough of being treated like education is a cost rather than an investment. We want an Aotearoa where education is something that lifts people up. We want an education that is not just for the rich or for those who are fortunate or for the Nepo babies. The Declaration of Human Rights states everyone has a right to education. Even those who have an education feel like they're not welcome at a university with these fees-free cuts. We need a government that invests in the future instead of selling it off. We need students to vote. We need them to vote for what's fair, not just for what's right for you, but for what's right for your community. Students are not weak. Look at us. Do we look weak? No! Students are organised. Students vote. And students will remember these decisions. So today, we march. We protest. Today, we stand together. Not just for ourselves, but for every student who will come after us. Because the future of this country should not belong to those who can just afford it. When fees free is under attack,
stand up, fight back!
When fees free is under attack,
stand up, fight back!
Thank you everyone for turning up today. Now let's keep going on to the octagon.
The system needs an overhaul! The system needs an overhaul! We say fight back! We say fight back! We'll never be divided!
What do we want?
Fees free!
When do we want it?
Now!
We've got council workers at the windows watching the protest go by. All right, we're coming into the octagon now. This is where the centre of the protest will be. We have council builders up in the council building supporting, people waving out windows. Seems like the public's generally in support. I haven't seen any shaking heads. We had a few negative car horns when we were blocking the road, but otherwise, generally support from the Dunedin public, it seems. So, institutional media, One News, has only just arrived now that we've come into the octagon. The protest is an hour, 5 minutes in. This is where it'll be ending. Still, the group hasn't sped off. We've still kept around 200 people. We may have even gained some people over the time of protest, it seems.
We say fight back! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
We need to build a mass militant student movement that can force the issue. But before going in to what such a movement could look like and why it can win, I think it's important to look at the track record of the alternative, of the Labour Party, and why we can't afford to put our faith in them.
Spicy.
Shockingly, Labour has refused to do the bare minimum and even commit to restoring fees free. In fact, when asked about it by the media, Chris Hipkins actually went on to criticise the policy. For those who don't remember, one of Labour's flagship campaign promises before their last stint in government was actually 3 years fees-free. They went on to break this promise and refused to honour it even after winning the first absolute majority in MMP history. Additionally, the last Labour government consistently delivered real terms funding cuts to the tertiary sector and presided over mass staff and course cuts across the country. This is not a party we can afford to we can rely on to act in our interests. Speaking of not acting in our interests, I can't talk about fees, cuts, and exploitation without talking about university management and Grant Robertson. The entire purpose of the Vice-Chancellor and upper university management, the very reason why they get paid such an absurd amount of money, is to exploit and manage the discontent of students and staff on behalf of the government. This is what university administrations have done for decades through fees-free and through fee hikes and cuts, and through forcing fewer and fewer staff to do even more work. It is what Grant Robertson is doing by seeking $16 million in permanent savings, also known as cuts, and by repeatedly hiking student fees, just as he is almost certain to do again for next year. It is vital to recognise that as long as Robertson and uni management haven't committed to defying government austerity, to no more fee hikes and to no more cuts, they are not an ally of this movement. The fact is, the entire system we live under, capitalism, which the current institutions such as Parliament are set up to protect, and all the current parliamentary political parties are committed to, fundamentally privileges and prioritises the interests of landlords, high-powered bureaucrats, CEOs, bosses, capitalists at the expense of workers and students. That is exactly what we've seen for decades. It's what we're seeing right now with this government's budget, and it's only going to get worse until we see the status quo for what it is, and until we recognise our power to fight the system. And that's what I really want to talk about, how we can fight and how we can win. The truth is, one protest isn't going to make change, but a movement can. I mentioned the need for a mass militant student movement. To get an idea of what this can look like, we can look to the past. In 2012, the government of Quebec, Canada, announced it would be increasing student tuition fees. What followed was a massive campaign by the students of Quebec. They held mass organising meetings and general assemblies to debate a course of action. They organised regular demonstrations and massive student strikes involving hundreds of thousands of students at their height. They used a range of militant tactics. They set up picket lines on their campuses. They staged sit-ins at important buildings. They blockaded major administrative sites and even occupied the office of the finance minister. Their movement successfully crushed the government's legislation. There are so many examples of similar struggles. Movements of students, or even alliances of students and workers using their collective strength to fight for better. And such things aren't limited to overseas. In the 90s, Otago uni students had their own movement to fight fee hikes. They started off with protests similar in size to this, and by the end of it, they rallied thousands of students to the fight. And they too used militant tactics, and even occupied the clock tower building twice. Once to disrupt the university council meeting, and another to make demands of the government. This is the history we should be looking to. But since then, student sentiment at Otago and across the country has been characterised by apathy. And that apathy is exactly what this government is relying on to cut fees free and to strip the gains of students, workers and the oppressed. They think we don't care, or at the very least, we're not going to do anything about it. For the sake of ourselves and every future student, we have to prove them wrong. Apathy can and must be broken, and if there ever was a time to do that, it is now. This protest is a step in the right direction, but it won't be enough. The movement we need isn't going to build itself. It's going to need students like all of us here today to get organised. The first step in that is to stick around and build connections here, and then next Wednesday we need you to attend the public meeting on building a fighting student movement. There we can argue our way forward and decide on what we're going to do next semester. This is the only way any of this can work. If we're all building a movement willing to protest, to stage sit-in, to run politicians off campus, to occupy buildings, and to exercise our collective power until we defeat these attacks and until we win our demands.
Hi there, I'm with the campus COP.
John Woodhouse, pleased to be here.
And I'm just asking, Jordan, what do you think the behaviour of the students at this protest has been like?
Absolutely amazing. Liam got on board early, and we managed to make sure that we could have the student protest in a safe way, so that they could get your point across, and the traffic wasn't disturbed. So, heads off to Liam and his team for doing such a great job in organising this event.
Nice. Thank you very much, and well done to your team. It was very safe, and there were a couple angry cars, but not many. It seemed to no occupied roads, no nothing like that. So it seemed to be done very well.
It's impossible to please everyone all the time.
Of course. Thank you very much, Mickey Treadwell, councillor in Dunedin. What's your thoughts on this student protest?
I appreciate the cause that they are protesting here. I mean, it's the move by the government to remove fees free is one that will harm the people of the country long term, and with regard to having a less educated population, and it specifically harms students, obviously, particularly those who would have been hard done by the previous promise of a third year fees free, who are now having that prospect taken away. Raising the cost overall of access to education is inequitable, so it's something which will drive people of lower income again out of education. So big mihi. I really respect the kaupapa of the students participating in this protest.
So we just attempted to do an interview with Liam as the student media, and the minute institutional media came over, 1NZ, he's gone straight over there to do an interview with them instead. We're with Liam, the leader of Labour Youth, Young Labour, Southern Young Labour, down here at Ōtepoti Dunedin campus. We've just watched as the leaders of this event, International Socialists Ōtepoti, Aotearoa.
It's not quite true. They are partners of 3 clubs in this event and the OUSA, so this International Socialist is not the leader. It's purely only a partner with the Campus Greens, Southern Young Labour and
Okay,
OUSA.
well thank you for clarifying that. Well, they've come up and decided to use around about half their speech attacking Labour's reputation and Labour's history around this, saying that they cannot trust Labour. Would you like to say anything to that?
Look, fees free was introduced in 2018 under the 6th Labour government, but ultimately it was supposed to extend to the full 3 years, but ultimately we were hit with economic uncertainty with COVID, and when the full policy was meant to be introduced by 2024, we ultimately lost power in government. And so the Labour Party stance on not having a stance yet on fees free is purely because we don't know what's in the budget. We don't know what the books are like, so we are waiting till 2 p.m. today to see how much is actually in the budget and if we can accurately promise fees free education for the future.
And is there anything within Southern Young Labour that maybe there's groups or members wanting something from this government regards to education and student life? Within this budget, or also Labour to push into this election?
Southern Young Labour is ultimately the student pressure group of Labour. We are still a part of the Labour Party, but we are advocating for students, young people from Waitaki to Rakiota Stewart Islands. Any issues that are concerned to them, we will help push it within a wider party structure and even on a government level.
So is there anything in particular that's being pushed from Southern Young Labour?
Particularly these fees-free cuts, which has just come out this month. But other issues we've been advocating on is, of course, cost of living, secure jobs for the future, fair pay for our wahine female workers, and also safe accommodation and adequate accommodation for everybody.
Right. Have you got anything more specific? I'm going to assume no.
Anything
I'm not saying for Labour, but that Southern Young Labour, a policy that they would like to see within Labour's proposal heading out of this or into this election.
Ultimately, just backing students all the way, whether that's through fees-free education or further support and getting into work. Southern Young Labour is going to back that all the way.
Right. Thank you very much, Liam.
Thank you.
We're here with Petra, the co-leader of Young Greens Otago, I believe is your name.
Otago Campus Greens.
Otago Campus Greens, there we go. What have you thought about the protest today?
Oh, it's a really good turnout, and I'm really happy with the common stance of everybody that we want to keep this movement going. Sorry, I've been talking all day. My brain is totally turning off, but I'm just really happy with it, to be honest. It's been awesome, and I'd love to see more people next time.
I'm going to ask you something which we're going to compare to what we asked Labour. Is there anything that Young Greens Dunedin are pushing for this election, policy-wise or idea-wise, that they want to see either the government introduced, but particularly they want to see the Greens policy-wise, things like fees-free, etc.
So we know the budget's coming out today for everybody, and we would love to see 100% fees-free university be rolled out over a period of time, but that would be the end goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what you're pushing for, is your Dunedin branch, the main Greens, to have as a policy this election?
I hope so, but we haven't had anything official come out just yet, so yeah.
And is there any other big policies that Greens Dunedin want to advocate to the Greens student-wise to implement?
Yeah, so we want to do homes. We've got our houses for all, healthy homes for all, which is basically we want renters' rights. We want to not be kicked out of a house for no reason, and we want to be able to live in not squalor, essentially. Yeah.
Kia ora, thank you very much, Petra.
Thank you.
We're here with Daniel Leamy, head of OUSA. Daniel, what have you thought today about this protest?
Yeah, it was a massive turnout, and especially considering it's exam time at the moment, crazy turnout from students really shows that they really give a shit about this issue and they're not going to go away.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel. What's OUSA going to be pushing, just to clarify to the...
Yeah, so in semester 2 we're launching a massive campaign to keep all of this good work going. So we're going to have a whole semester long thing on both enrolment to vote and also student issues, particularly fees-free, and bringing back fees-free first year, because it's quite clear from students today that it really matters. It's about accessibility to education, and we're not going to go down without a fight.
And it was mentioned today, ISO wanted independent student unions. Are you guys pushing for that at all?
Of course we are. We always support independent student unions. OUSA isn't a service provider. We are at our core a student union. We're an advocacy body. We've got 136 years of history. For about 100 of those, there were no student services. Let's bring it back to what we are. Let's prioritise our student advocacy side. Look what's happened today. This is important.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So the protest is over. We've heard they are planning to do one within the first 2 weeks again of next Otago semester. So that'll be in about 6 weeks' time. Yeah, it was an interesting protest. We saw the Greens are pushing for full fees free. Nothing too surprising from them. Labour, again, was not committal to any policy, wouldn't even tell us any policy that the student branches are explicitly advocating for, but they would like to see a return to fees free. It sounds like the members would like full fees free, so we'll see what happens there. The budget is coming out very shortly. It is budget day, so we'll be able to see what the government is doing for students then. We have ISO actually using a big portion of their speech to attack Labour for not doing enough in the past. It'll be interesting to see if that's a tactic to push Labour into a further left, stauncher stance on student issues, or if it genuinely is a call to action to move away from Labour towards a further left, a more some political organisation, most likely the Greens, more willing to give money to students to invest in fees-free tertiary education, etc. Otago University Students Association are wanting to return to independence. They had a big emphasis on the fact that they're currently a service provider. They currently provide clubs and SOCs and societies, that is, a bunch of services in the uni. They run the bookshop. They're wanting to return to a union model where they're focusing on advocating for students rather than trying to fill in the void of things they are not provided, or the things that are hard to access for students. So that's interesting. They're also advocating for full fees free. The campus COP said that this was a very respectful protest, and indeed it was. We saw no roads were blocked. We saw no one was attacked. There was no fighting. There was no nothing much other than a bit of name calling politicians they don't like a wank, including Grant Robertson. There was an attack on former Labour financial minister and current Otago Vice Chancellor Grant Robertson. Ultimately, this process is very interesting. We're looking and waiting to see what will happen after, what policies may come, how parties respond, how the institutional media responds to these protests, and it's just a protest on campuses across the country. ProsperNZ will maintain its independent media status and continue to cover this series of protests as they evolve, but for now that's all. Thanks for watching.